Howdy, fellow gamers of the internet. Welcome back for another edition of the Really Snappy Gaming Podcast. Brought to you by Really Snappy Gaming. As always, I'm your host, Evan Davies, and the chaos is about to ensue because we have Angelo Gonzalez, our fan favorite, coming back looking like a goddamn statue right now.
Yeah, quick question. What does Really Snappy Gaming Podcast brought to you by Really Snappy Gaming mean?
Nothing. That's why I say it. That's why it's fun.
Just checking.
That's why I said it, because I knew you'd like it.
Who is it brought to you by? It's actually, today's episode is brought to you by McDonald's. Welcome to the Big Arch Meal. Go ahead.
I don't eat McDonald's, but I'm not gonna lie. I'd start if they started throwing us a couple shekels. Yeah.
What if they didn't throw you any money, but they did say that they would give you one free double cheeseburger?
Not for one double cheeseburger. I don't want to eat the beef from McDonald's. That's some great circus meat shit.
You want their chicken?
I don't want any of it.
The eggs are good.
I like breakfast sandwich. So I will say, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit is my go-to on the run up to Lambeau.
Biscuit? Yeah.
I will always go bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. That's my cup of tea when it's, on the way.
I learned something recently. May I share?
Yes, by all means, please.
Did you know that in the South, they do a chicken breakfast sandwich at McDonald's?
I think I did know that, yeah, because I think I got it once, or either I thought about getting it once, because I was like, chicken biscuit. The fuck is this shit?
I was talking with somebody who's from North Carolina. Who could it be? And I was like, I'm going to get, like, McDonald's breakfast sandwich for us. What do you want? And she was like, chicken McGriddle. And I was like, that shit ain't real. It's not real. And I was like, I know the McDonald's breakfast menu. I will pull up the app right now if you need me to, like, verify, but, like, they don't got it. And she was like, just ask them. I was like, all right, I got you.
Don't ask for nothing, because I ain't got it.
Literally, like, I skipped doing the app. I couldn't get my free breakfast sandwich. I was like, I'm going to validate this. And I talked to the person, and I was like, yeah, can I get a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin and a chicken McGriddle? And they were like, and a what? And I was like, okay, like the chicken, like, yeah, we don't do that for breakfast. All right, cool, got it. Yeah. This was like a mind-blowing thing for me, because afterwards I looked it up, and like, they totally do it, just not here.
Yeah, it's very regional. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's
I gotta
do wild how many different regional items they have.
Yeah,
it's a really fun subsection of the internet to go down, which that's kind of where we're going today with some subsection topics here, of the amount of random regional items there are on a McDonald's menu is absurd, and you're just like, why do you serve this in Australia? Why the fuck would it? And then I know for a fact half the rest of the world would be like, look at the American McDonald's menu and be like, the fuck you guys eating this shit for? And we're like, why are you eating that shit? So
yeah,
I get it.
Have you been to Jollibee?
Jollibee? No, I do not believe so.
Okay, Jollibee it's a Filipino fast food place, and it rules because it's like fried chicken, spaghetti, and like mango dessert pies, and then also like some Filipino dishes too. But like,
this is some dream bullshit, dude.
It's so good. You really got to try it. Especially when I was in Dallas recently. As I was driving over to a rock climbing gym, and I was like, oh, I should probably get some food. And I like, out of my peripheral vision, saw a Jollibee, and it was just like I have to stop all my plans. Like I did not intend on like going to climb fully stuffed with a like 4-piece chicken meal, but like I had to give me the whole 4-piece chicken meal. So goddamn good.
That's the job. Yeah. That's the gig. And A&W Zero Sugar Root Beer is on screen as always.
To you by A&W Zero Sugar Root Beer from the makers of McDonald's. Come Ambergris and Whoopia. A&W.
I will say I enjoy an A&W more than I like McDonald's personally. It's personal opinion.
You could get a root beer. Go to McDonald's, get a root beer.
No, it's more so I enjoy the A&W restaurant, fast food chain.
Oh, okay.
But I will say it was more of a novelty because they're like a rural. It's like it's exclusively in like rural areas. So it's always when we were like driving to random places around the state, it'd be like, oh, there's an A&W. We should stop because then you could just get cheese curds. So and like the rest of the meal was irrelevant. It was just you got the cheese curds and you got the root beer. Everything else was. I mean, yeah, I ate something else, but I got cheese curds and a root beer. So that was always a thing for me. But I haven't had A&W in, oh my god, at least 7 to 10 years. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
You've activated a thing in my brain. Can we do a little exercise together?
By all means, and then we'll get into our topic of the day.
And then we'll get into our topic of the day, of course. Yes. Could you read this excerpt aloud for the audience?
Oh God, where is this excerpt coming from?
It's in our Discord chat.
All right, hold please. I'll pull it up on my phone. That'll be even easier then. Oh God.
Hey, you're probably doing like cool audio production, podcast production stuff on your computer.
Maybe.
You got 4 screens up with 17 different what voice meter banana? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Whatever. Alrighty. So I have it up on screen. So if people can see it, sorry, I don't really give a shit. No, they can't. Perfect. Okay. The Irma Lerman Merman murder turned the bird's word lured the whir, and the purr of a twirler girl. She would the world were demure, the insurer's allure, for valor were pure, Kari were one fervid, whirl over her turgid error, rural juror, I will never forget you, rural juror. I'll always be glad I met you, rural juror.
Thank you.
Are you happy with the tongue twister? Because I will say I did a pretty damn good job.
You kind of knocked it out. It's a bit from 30 Rock, where there is a show that Jenna Maroney's on called The Rural Juror, and every time she says, she's like, "Oh, I'm on the Rural Juror," and no one has any idea what she's saying, and that's the theme song.
So if it helps, I feel even better because I flubbed half this goddamn script 1,000 times this morning as I was finishing my video essay recordings, and I would get like 2/3 of the way through the section, and then I'd flub something bad enough. I'd be like, "God damn it!" And I'd start breathing and I would like enunciate really simple words that you would never have a problem with, except they're in quick succession with similar sounds. So because you're saying Pokemon so often in this video essay, I'd have to be like player because I would go like
practicing your plosives.
Yeah, and I'd be like in quick succession. So I was like player, and then I'd have to redo the whole section. Which, by the way, that video essay is up now. It's part of the Pitch Me a Game series, which is going fine. It's a little imperfect, but I'm happy with it so far. So
yeah, I was going to ask for a little teaser for the listeners of this show of what's coming up, but you've already got it up there.
Yeah, so that's one of them, and then we're gonna be what is the next big one? I will be having a new Pitch Me a Game series episode where I'll be pitching a new Super Mario sports game with kind of some game concepts behind it, what we'll be doing with that, and then I will be also collecting Ocarina of Time when it's finally time. I have to fully edit the Resi 8 playthrough, and I have to do the Resi 9 playthrough. Full video.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
For your sports Mario games franchise, are you aware of the Mario wrestling game?
The one that never happened that should have happened because it'd be rad? Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
That's such a good concept that I'm not including it in this compilation game idea because I want to fully flesh that out by myself. This would be fun. Just imagine a heel Bowser and like a Bowser's Castle-esque WrestleMania stadium of just filled with Goombas and all his cronies, and he's making a WrestleMania level entrance and just pyro everywhere. Glorious.
What might that sound like? What might a Bowser wrestling entrance sound like?
Oh God. Well, the best part is if he's going to do an interview pre-intro, he's got to do 80s. It's got to be over the top 80s where he's like, let me tell you something, brother. But it's got to be that over the top 80s, real deep.
Hey there, I'm Odette, and I would like to welcome you to our new Mario wrestling event. We've got Bowser in the room with us. Hey there, Bowser. How's it going today?
Let me tell you, I killed Mario today. I squish him for throwing me by my tail into bombs the whole time during that 64 episode. Ah.
Yes, people who missed that episode, you might remember that he did not just grab you by the tail and turn you around. He also called you gay. I believe he said, "So long, gay Bowser." Do you have a reaction to that?
This is why the people should cheer for me. I welcome everybody by hating everyone equally. I do not care what your sexual orientation is. Mario does. I do not care. I squish him for you all. But this is why you should cheer for me. Bowser out. Ah.
Thank you, everyone. So it sounds like we just got confirmation from Bowser that he is in fact gay because he is not denying the allegations. So on the headline, the tweets are coming in. Bowser gay? Oh, Twink Daddy Bowser. I'll take
this.
DK. Whoa.
I mean, I think Ab's quote about Bowser is quite accurate. Bowser is a leather daddy. So, I mean, that's just because.
Is it just because he's got like leathery skin?
It's the leathery skin, but it's the cuffs for her. Always the cuffs.
Oh, that'll do it.
That's always where she's like, he's such a leather daddy. So that does not inherently mean that if someone has a leather kink that they're gay. However,
Bowser going to spit fire, and then Mario just comes up and puts a ball gag in his mouth.
We have a potential child in the mix, but we have no partner. So how that partner was spawned, we don't know. So
baby Bowser?
Well, we have Bowser Jr. or there's baby Bowser.
Sorry.
So
what's Bowser Jr.'s initials?
Good old BJ. So
gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've been watching a shit ton of Seinfeld literally right before this recording. So now every Seinfeld line that's been embedded in my head for 20 years is just not that there's anything wrong with that. It's coming out.
Is that a Seinfeld thing?
Oh yeah, that's where that came from. That's most popular. Season 4.
I always thought it was Frasier that was the gay guy.
I mean, Frasier's far more intellectual, but they have an episode where it's like, oh, not that there's anything.
That's another word for it.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. Nonetheless, that's where it is. But also, if you really do want to try to see an accurate Bowser wrestling promo, not done by Bowser, just look up any promo, late 80s, early 90s, The Ultimate Warrior, because it's just sounds. It's just the spaceship with the rocket.
That sounds.
You're like, okay.
And here we've got a clip. So this is where you're gonna edit in the clip of of him doing whatever that was.
No, I'm not. I'm not getting sued by TKO. Fuck that shit.
All right, we've got a clip.
So I actually have another mini topic for you. Have you seen it's new per this, or recently new, WWE 2K26 has now been released, their annual game release.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen anything about the cost of this game?
Is it like $1,000 because they're all fucking expensive now?
Because it's bullshit 2K, and it's like their parent company has now become what everyone feared would happen when, ironically enough, as evil and shitty of exactly, I see your face dropping right now. As much of a shitty person as Vince McMahon was, he did actually make an effort to make things pseudo affordable for the normal person.
So the base version, hold on. So I'm looking at this now, and what we're seeing is the most expensive edition is $150.
And that's still not enough.
Is there? Well, to be fair, the base version is $70, and the most expensive version, you get 32,500 virtual credits. Right. So actually, when you think about it,
actually, it's worse than you think about it because someone has done
it. Oh, is that bad?
Someone has done it to prove the point because they've hidden a bunch of stuff where even after you spend the additional game cost to get like the gold Monday Night War edition.
More than a game. It's a game plus 10.
They also, half the characters that are even on the cover of the Monday Night War edition, you don't just unlock by purchasing them. You then have to go through hours of bullshit gameplay to unlock said characters that you just paid an additional $80 for. But then they hid them in a bunch of their like bogus, like Madden has their Ultimate Team garbage and all this, like a bunch of games have the pay as you play bogus microtransactions. Their version of that, to technically unlock every character and get every aspect of the game, it is over $700 worth to unlock the moves and the characters that you already paid for. They've just locked them behind other shit to the point where I got back in to this series, as you know, huge pro wrestling fan, and I don't think that shocks anyone after the last promo I just did. I took out WWE 2K24 2 years ago from the local library, or like a year and a half ago from the local library, because I was like, all right, I'll try it first before, because I hadn't played a wrestling game in like 12 years. I had stopped with like SmackDown versus Raw way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, cool. I want to play. I want to see. Oh, I hear they're doing this new GM mode. That was always my favorite stuff, was actually getting to book the events and make my championships. Like, that was the stuff I liked. And tried it, loved it. Bought 2K25 a couple months later after I purchased a cheaper copy of 2K24 when it came out. Like, when 25 came out, bought it right away. And I was like, don't love this nearly as much. It's a shittier version of the GM mode, but like, okay, it's still playable. It's still fun. And I now paid $70+ for it. I am going to play this out of principle. And
Ew, it sucks.
and then now I was like, do I really need 2K26 before this all came out? And the second I saw that, I was like, no, I'm sorry. I don't think in a game that has so many other characters in it that I should have to fight just to unlock like one legend. I'm sorry. I think it's pretty basic. For $70, I should be able to play a Stone Cold Steve Austin if I choose. I think it's, or like, what's funny is even stuff that the normal wrestling fan, like the psychotic wrestling fan even, doesn't care about, they've locked that behind a paywall. Where they recently bought, was it last year, like a year and a half ago? They bought AAA, which is one of the two oldest wrestling promotions in Mexico. So now they own AAA as well. They have a bunch of the Mexican luchadors from AAA in the game. And they locked those behind paywalls. And the vast majority of players in the US have no idea who the fuck these guys are. They're just like, oh, cool, there's some luchadors in the game. All right. And you have to unlock them too behind paywalls and other stuff. And you're like, I'm sorry, I don't think that's how gaming should be. And
Go ahead.
it's bad. It's also, they also made a huge effort by many people's accounts to try to make it near impossible to get physical copies and only do digital copies, which again really irritates me in a continual digital market where you can't physically have something, because then you're technically only paying for a license to play something, or a license to own, a license to play the movie whenever you want on Amazon. You don't technically own the file. You have a license to the file, which I'm like, and they can delete it any time. You're like, fuck you. This is garbage.
May I offer another game for us to play?
By all means.
I've pulled up a list of the 10 greatest Lucha Libre wrestlers of all time.
Interesting.
Because you said they got a whole bunch of Mexican wrestlers, and I got real excited about, as a Mexican man, who are good Mexican wrestlers. So I'm going to put some Mexican lucha wrestlers in the chat. I would like you to read their names and say if you know them and could say anything on them.
No problemo. I will probably.
Number 10.
Okay, Perro Aguayo. Unfortunately, Perro Aguayo, older wrestler that I am not super familiar with. However, Perro Aguayo Jr., which does not inherently mean it's his son, tragically passed away after like an insane injury in the ring.
Oh no.
And so Perro Aguayo Jr. is probably more famous in today's modern world than Perro Aguayo Sr., but nonetheless.
What a fun introduction to our game.
Yeah, it's
Number 9.
Ray Mendoza, no idea. Seems like a made-up Madden name for your third-string running back that's coming in the 4th round of your draft.
He is a founding father of the Universal Wrestling Association, and he is also the grandfather of Villano III Jr. and El Hijo del Villano III.
No idea. All
right, number 8.
All right. Negro Casas. Okay, so Negro Casas goes all the way back to like the 50s and 60s. Believe it's a masked wrestler from back in the day. Apparently quite a badass from what I know, but it's other than that, it's by reputation. I haven't watched any matches with Negro Casas.
That's a good answer. I just kind of want you to pronounce the name. Next up.
Oh, Blue Demon. All right, so Blue Demon or Blue Demon, as we would say,
Is it Demon? Okay.
they would. That's what they try to say it to, so the whiteys sound like they know what they're doing, but they don't.
So know what they're doing?
So
Hell
Blue
yeah.
Demon is probably more famous to super nerds for being also more affiliated with Japanese wrestling and Mexican wrestling than he is infiltrating into the States. But nonetheless, another masked luchador with some name recognition.
I'm jumping around the list now, just picking out names that sound fun. This one's great.
Is one oh yeah, I have plenty on Gory, but also this is, you say 4 on this. Did you skip 2, or do you just want me to skip around with that? I thought you were gonna.
I'm skipping around to just cool names.
All right, so I thought you were gonna give me Ned Flanders from the Simpsons wrestling game.
That would be pretty good.
All right,
Is there a Simpsons wrestling game?
There was from like 2000. It's apparently terrible, but I know of
Okay.
their reputation. So let me talk
So
about
go
Gory
ahead.
Guerrero. Gory Guerrero is the patriarch of the famous Guerrero wrestling family. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is his youngest son, Eddie Guerrero, who passed away in 2005. Eddie was one of my absolute favorites. Gory was one of those classic shorter guys that was just a tough piece of trash, kind of great wrestler, very technical, and has spawned one of the most famous families in all of Mexican Lucha Libre, Hector Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero Sr., who then led to Chavo Guerrero Jr. It's phenomenal wrestling family. Gory was also a promoter of the El Paso territory for a while. Legendary promoter and wrestler in his day.
I gotta call out. You know way more about all these people than I expected you to. Do you have a second window open? Have you been Googling?
No, I do not actually. This is how much of it. This is how much of a nerd I am for the thing. Like I say, I like 7 things in this world. I am very passionate about those 7 things, so I know a shit ton about them.
My wife. Okay. Here's the last one on the list. You ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Raymond Stereo. This seems. Did you make this up? Because
No.
I've never heard of this in my life. So, and also,
No, you haven't?
if I went from Paraguayo and could make it through, except for one guy, and then I get Raymond Stereo, I'm like, no,
Well, you might know him more by his stage name.
Rey Mysterio Jr. or Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio is actually Rey Mysterio Jr.'s uncle, who we know as Rey Mysterio. So, well, actually,
Yeah, I know Raymond. I only know Raymond. Raymond
so Rey Mysterio, as we know him, started as Rey Mysterio Jr., and then that is actually a name that he inherited from his uncle, the original Rey Mysterio. Obviously, one of the greatest Mexican Lucha Libre stars of all time, one of the greatest wrestling stars in general, beyond just Lucha Libre. Rey Mysterio is phenomenal.
You were so committed to actually giving knowledge that you just completely no-sold Raymond Stereo. Just completely no-sold it.
Well, also, number 2...
You were so excited to be like, I know this guy.
it's a topic I actually know something about.
I know. It's one of the 7. Your wife, and wrestling.
All right, you got any more for me, or are we just staying with Rey Mysterio? Because
I think
the number one
leaving it off on Raymond.
Besides Rey Mysterio, would probably be Mil Mascaras, who has one of my favorite stories of all time.
Nope. Number 1 is El Santo.
Oh yeah, El Santo. He's a kind of a classic throwback. Very old though.
Mm-hmm.
But most people by far would probably know Rey Mysterio in a modern context.
I know we have a planned topic for the day, so I'm going to just share one last thing, which is in the Simpsons wrestling game, Marge hits people with her hair, and that's pretty fun. This game actually looks kind of sick. We should do a video on this.
I might have a little bit more Simpsons for us in this topic. However, one thing that I love going back in history and finding these weird little nuggets of history. I don't think this is one of the weirder ones, but I think it leads to some cool conversation. You and I were talking off mic already. The year of Luigi. I don't know how many people are actually familiar with this. It was 2013 to early 2014, and Nintendo made a campaign where the whole year for Nintendo was the year of Luigi. So I know you and I talked, and you know this.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love is the commitment they showed by not showing any commitment, but showing way too much commitment in another form. So this campaign, they technically had 4 games that starred Luigi, which technically isn't true. They had Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which apparently is very underrated by those that played it, but it wasn't super well received in terms of box office back. Then we had
It was a 3DS Luigi's Mansion game.
right.
I have no idea how much they expected from it, but they probably weren't expecting like, I don't know, Smash Bros numbers.
Right. Then we have New Super Luigi U, which I believe is just another reskinned Mario game.
It was an expansion for New Super Mario Brothers U that was like more difficulty focused.
And then we have the reskinned Dr. Mario with Dr. Luigi.
I did not know about that one.
And then we have Mario and Luigi Dream Team, which is simply we could put Luigi in the title, so it counts as the year of Luigi. So
was that one a remake or was that a new Mario and Luigi game?
I believe it was a new Mario and Luigi game. But I could be mistaken.
I believe you are right. Yeah, I will say at the very least that one I think had a big focus on Luigi. Not to.
Yeah.
Who cares? Okay, you know what? I'm realizing as I'm like, actually, like, who cares? Yeah.
Well, actually, Mil Mascaras was a luchador from So, one thing I loved is they went to odd extremes here. They had Club Nintendo, one of their, bigger merchandising ploys, make a huge marketing campaign for Luigi and made a bunch of unique Luigi gear. Some of which were like, Japan got like 2 or 3 exclusive Luigi wrapped 3DSs. Oddly, no Wii U merchandise, even though the Wii U was the focus of the fucking thing. And then they also, in the weirdest attempt ever, partnered with the Chicago train system and the Chicago L line and the Clark and Lake Station train station in Chicago, which I think both you and I have probably run through at least once in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Was completely wrapped and themed for Luigi, and they had specific trains that were wrapped in all Luigi. Like the whole car was like almost wallpapered in Luigi stuff.
And we've got an image of that on screen now?
Sure, why not?
Do you actually have a browser up? Can I be sending you stuff?
No, I do not, but I can put it
Oh, dang.
But I find this campaign fascinating because the campaign, by those that are ill-informed, is blamed for Nintendo losing $457 million that year.
That can't be the campaign's fault. That's so funny to think about. Like, Luigi's such a number 2 that he lost them. Oh, that's awesome. Go ahead.
But it's also still within the first year of the very wildly unsuccessful life cycle of the Wii U, whose launch titles have virtually nothing within the first year, to the point where I went through their launch title library. Some of their best games are all just ports of successful games from the 360 or the PlayStation 3 that were multimedia. The only one that's a Mario, the only one that's even a Nintendo title, not just a Mario title, is New Super Mario Bros. U. That is it. No Zelda, no Pokemon, no Metroid, nothing.
Wait, but what about Funky Barn? Is Funky Barn on there?
Funky Barn was not as a part of that launch title, and I can't imagine that was making them a whole lot of money.
Are you sure Funky Barn wasn't a launch title?
One of the better titles I found for launch, which was still like the first year, was 2 years after the fact, Batman Arkham City Armored Edition.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Like Assassin's Creed 3 or 4, one of the two. I think it was 3. So I went to IGN for the launch title ones, nonetheless, but the rest of the research I just got from kind of parsing things through.
My understanding is that amongst at least the launch titles of the Wii U, Funky Barn is widely regarded as the most like successful of seeing what the Wii U could be and like showing off the power, the ability of like, oh, this is the promise of the Wii U, is Funky Barn.
Well, I remember when I was first kind of coming back to the world of gaming, you were kind of my arbiter into getting back and learning some stuff. And I asked you, I was like, what's this Wii U? Like, I've completely missed it. You're like, I'm going to be honest, just skip it. I believe was the words you told me. You're like,
yeah,
it's not that there's not good games on it. Because I've heard a lot of people now, 10 years removed, kind of be like, no, it's underrated for how many good games it had, but it was a far inferior system compared to what it was competing with. Plus, it was clearly the test market for something different, which became the Switch, which was obviously incredibly successful.
The Wii U, in my mind, was very much like
New Super Mario Brothers U. Oh no, sorry, Super Mario 3D World. It was Super Smash Brothers 4, and it was Funky Barn. Like those are the 3 reasons to own a Wii U. Was like those.
Also, you're a big Rhythm Heaven player. Did they even have a Rhythm Heaven title, or was that a 3DS only title?
Rhythm Heaven has been on I'm not gonna go through all of them. DS, Wii U, or DS and Wii, and a few other ones, but specifically, it was not on the Wii U, and they did do like a not collaboration. They put a bunch of the old games together in the 3DS one. I think they announced the Rhythm Heaven for the Switch that has just kind of been, who knows?
Floating in the wind. I keep track of it because I know how much you like of it, just so I can have a talking point and be like, hey, did you see that your game's finally coming out?
It would be cool if the game was finally coming out. You know what? I should validate that because I thought they announced the Rhythm Heaven for the Switch. Yeah, Rhythm Heaven Groove.
So the reason I brought this up is I think this concept, focusing on a sole character, is brilliant. I think it's genius. I think it just was chosen at quite possibly the worst time in modern Nintendo times that they could have done it. They didn't have a strong console. They didn't have strong titles to launch with because they had no follow-up. So even if it's like New Super Mario Bros. U and Super Mario World or Super Mario 3D World or whatever, even if those titles are good, you can't just have a whole console life off of 2 games. Like it's not how it works. So
are we not including Funky Barn on this?
Or Funky Barn. My apologies. We can include Funky Barn as well. So
thank you.
They clearly had no follow-up. So I don't think it's the campaign's fault. I think it's Nintendo not having titles ready to go. Because I'm sorry. Hell, I've even had these conversations with you. I'm like, if you were launching a console, what would your titles be? And you and I have had the conversation, be like, I'd be this many deep going, I'm ready to go for year 2 and year 3 because we're not going to try to fail here. But are there video game characters that you would like to see get the Year of Luigi treatment? And doesn't matter who the developer is, doesn't have to be Nintendo specific. They're characters that you'd like to see they get their own year of games to celebrate.
Are we doing back-to-backs? Am I making an offer?
Sure.
We're talking about it. You're making an offer. Okay.
Sure. I've got up to 4 or 5, but I can rapid fire a lot of these. So
I would like to start off small, start off tight, and keep it in the world of Mario. And I feel like if we wanted to do another year for a character in the Super Mario Brothers franchise, it would probably be the year of Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. I think that would probably be the one that I would go towards. So I'm assuming that there's a clip on screen of Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario.
Perhaps.
So
perhaps.
For people who don't know, I'm just gonna keep doing that and keep saying that and pointing at the screen.
I can't.
And if it happens, it happens.
I can't wait to put not put a single thing on screen for you and just have some fun with it.
And wherever they go, it should look like him. The Elite Knight from Dark Souls is looking up at it.
Gotcha.
He's staring away at Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. So people who have not played Mario Party 2 or who are not familiar with it, Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario is Mario but with a cowboy hat on.
Also, a live cameo was made at my in-person real-life Mario parties by one Angelo Gonzalez as box art Mario from Mario Party 2.
What? Did that happen? Who would know that?
Sadly, he wore an adult version of a Woody costume from Toy Story, and it was sadly quite accurate to the box art version of Mario.
It was a 1-to-1 accurate representation of Mario from Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. Have you ever talked about your Mario Party parties on the spot or on the show?
Not on this show specifically. I've talked about it in the past, but I certainly, and when they return, I want to do like a whole kind of pre-production. This is how I make games. This is how I do things, and then actually shoot some of it while we play it, so we can be like, oh, hey, this is what it looks like. This is cool shit.
You should vlog the hell out of that. And just for the audience to give a little like sampler, Evan really likes games, as you can tell, because he's got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it, along with movies, haha. But specifically, like, Evan really likes games, and not just like playing them, but also bringing people together and designing them.
Yes.
So he has had it's been on a bit of a hiatus because COVID times was crazy, but he would gather people in person for like a real life Mario party. He used to live in an apartment in Chicago where
he lived on one floor, and they had friends who lived above them, and they set up their entire apartment as a game board for Mario Party. And then in between the rounds, people would go upstairs and we'd do mini games up there.
Hell
So Evan was designing all these different real life versions of Mario Party mini games that if he does it again, hopefully he'll have video content or something to share with you guys, because it is the coolest thing in the world. It was really rad. And it was an excuse for people to dress as their favorite video game characters, like Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario.
Goddamn right. We have had 4 Mario parties in real life. It's kind of now gotten Super Bowl WrestleMania status, where it's gone to 2 major cities and we'll make an appearance in the third, because we had 2 in Chicago and then I had 2 while in Philly. So I think I don't want to say I've mastered it, but it's gotten a lot smoother. So
This motherfucker acting like he's Miyamoto. I don't want to say I've mastered the craft, but
I mean, I've gotten a lot better. That first one, we got through 5 of them, and I was like, it won't take that long, and I was just like, oh my god, it's taking so long. And then
that was also in part due to like premarital disputes that were happening.
It wasn't my marriage, so I was fine with it. So
Your marriage is great.
yeah, my marriage was fine that night. But beyond that, it is also important to note that couple is still very happily married, and they are very dear friends of mine, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But
all love in the world.
all love in the world.
But
it was
sorry,
it was a dramatic night after one of those
Yep.
games. But now, after the last one, we got through a full iteration with time to spare. We had some bonus mini game time and had a grand old time having some fun. It usually takes, I can get it done in about 6 hours. It's a big party for everybody, but we're all having fun. It's enjoyable.
But to bring it back to the topic, the year of Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario, when I'm imagining that, it feels like a really great year to celebrate the Super Mario Brothers franchise. The first thing that comes to mind is, like, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 Mario Edition on the Switch 2, where you get to play as Arthur Mario? Mario's last name is Mario, right?
Apparently, yeah. So it's Arthur Mario. Yeah.
According to the movie lore. So you could play as Arthur Mario, which would be really cool. I imagine Jack would be replaced by Baby Mario. I guess Dutch would be Luigi. Oh man, sorry, I'm just like imagining all of this now and getting very excited at the prospect of like.
Oh, your
playing...
joke that you've now become a real thing?
Well, but we can make it. We have to manifest the things you wish to see in the world.
I know you will. That's the best part. This is why I do this, because I let your brain go. And although it can get off the rails a bit, I know you're going to follow through with all of a sudden in a couple days. I'm going to get at least a picture of Mario in Red Dead Redemption 2. A
picture of Mario in a cowboy suit. Can you imagine?
Yeah. So, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Red Dead 2 would be sick on the Switch too. So along with Red Dead 2, I feel like to also celebrate the year of Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario, it only makes sense that we would get Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Didn't that come
people who are Kingdom Hearts 3?
I thought it did.
It was a streaming version to the Switch 1, I think. But the important thing to call out there is that there is a Toy Story world inside Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's an obvious one-to-one swap. You would take out the what is he like, a spaceman? Take out Buzz Lightyear, put in Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario in his place.
Not Woody, Buzz Lightyear.
Why Woody?
He's a cowboy.
So the third game would be Red Dead Redemption 1. So Red Dead Redemption 1 is the other cowboy game in the Red Dead Redemption franchise that I highly recommend. It's, once again, obvious. You take out what's the guy in Red Dead 1 called? John Marston. There we go.
Yeah.
Rip out Bonnie, replace Bonnie with Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. And then one last game that, I mean, this is just be a throwaway one, but
I like how you haven't pitched a single new Mario title. You're just like, nope, we're just going to port Mario into all these other ports, and that's how we're going to celebrate.
Well, no, it's a Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. It's the year of him, so it feels like we want to make things that are tonally appropriate for him. So if we're going to be making games, it should be stuff that matches Mario Party 2 Game Box Mario. And for me, the last one on the list, which is obvious, it can just be a throwaway at the end, but probably Port Custer's Revenge to the Nintendo Switch 2. That is it for me.
What the fuck are we talking about right now? What the hell is Port Custer's Revenge? The fuck are we talking about?
Look that up on your own time.
Okay.
You're up, Evan.
So I have a little bit more serious take here. I'll stick within the family as well, but not in.
I'm just gonna quickly call out. Definitely Google Custer's Revenge before you put this video out.
Great. Is that something I really want to Google? Do I really want to?
It is something you should Google before you put this video out.
Great.
Video games got a wild history, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, you're up, Evan.
Thank you for doing that in only the second episode of this podcast. I appreciate it.
Start up strong.
So although I would love to have Peach have a year to herself, I'm actually going to go with Daisy. One thing that drives me
Mimic the Luigi thing. Okay.
which drives me insane about Nintendo is it's like they have blinders for only the main character of any of their games, and they'll let them be popular, but they won't ever let them shine. I think Daisy is also a great character to try to differentiate, because the more they get into it, the more they have to give more lore to these characters. They're very different, Peach and Daisy. And one thing I love about Daisy is she's more the athletic tomboy type, so that's an excuse. Make some sports games, perhaps just like the one I'm going to pitch in a couple weeks in the new Pitch Me a Game series over at the the Mario Party Superstar Sports Remix, whatever the hell I'm going to call it. But I would love to see them actually utilize these characters in a different way than what they do already. One of my favorite games that has come out, even though I wouldn't say it's a stellar game, but I enjoyed it, I had fun, I know Ab did as well, was Princess Peach Showtime. Because they at least did something different with Peach and let her do something. And it was a fun, unique take of, what do we do with Peach? Let's let her do a bunch of different stuff. And then took the princess concept to a completely different realm, where they almost kind of went Barbie-esque, where they're like, well, what if there's a mermaid Peach, and what if there's a chef Peach, and what if there's a cowboy Peach? Like, all these different takes. It was a great way to still put into that like childhood princess vibe while still letting Peach do something.
How can I ask a maybe strange question?
Sure.
This ties into the Princess Peach game. How much do you know about like girl shit?
What does that even mean?
You know how there's like shit that like girls like? How much do you know about like stuff like that?
Plenty. I work with children, dude.
Do you know the H2O show?
Actually, sadly, I do believe I have some semblance of the H2O show in my brain somewhere, yes.
Do you think that there's like the super what was the Peach game called?
Princess Peach Showtime.
Princess Peach Showtime. Do you think that like all of the transformations she can do can be mapped analogously to like girl shit that girls grew up on?
Maybe.
Because I feel like H2O came to mind, but can you think of one for like
there's
like Horse Tamer Barbie? There's Barbie horse videos all the time.
There's like a super sleuth kind of like super sleuth.
It's Carmen Sandiego, right?
Peach. You can do Carmen Sandiego. Otherwise, you could do Totally Spies, if you recall that show from back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. Mm-hmm.
So
girls definitely like that shit.
That might be that one. I feel Patisserie Peach is pretty much just girl stereotypes forever. So that makes sense. Which
the Cooking Mama. I see Cooking Mama there.
Also adorable. That's by far the best outfit because it's just adorable. It's Ab's favorite. So before anyone wants to make a fucking joke.
Is there a cool like sword Peach?
Yes, there is. The question
is there a cool sword girl show?
I don't know.
Because there's like Xena.
Yeah.
I think there's got to be like a cool show.
Say what you will, Xena was not for the ladies. Xena was still made with the male gaze in mind.
Xena made for men?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and it was like a pretty cool show. There's a Xena PS1 video game, Warrior. Okay, sorry.
Well, maybe we'll have to play it one day on the channel.
That would be sick.
But either way, I think it's just a great way to get some sports games and Mario Party games involved into Peach and Daisy. But also, I'd love to have a solo adventure for Daisy. I love the idea of, this is also maybe another idea I might be pitching later on in the world, but I love the idea of using the lore of that she's a great athlete, where she does a 3D adventure or possibly even a side scroller, but she just beats the shit out of minions with sports equipment. where she's just hitting Goombas over the head with with like a tennis racket. She's just swiping Koopas out of the sky with golf clubs, just coming over the top with shit. I love this idea
Mhm.
of just constantly a side-scrolling beat 'em up style game led by Daisy with sports equipment as our major options for weapons. I kind of love that idea.
Are there? So I know in Smash Bros, both Peach and Daisy, their side B is using different sports equipment.
Yeah.
If you were to like do a side-scrolling beat 'em up starring Daisy, are there any new sport equipment items you think would be cool, like fighting utensils,
Oh my god,
like
yes.
weapons she could use?
One, I think it'd be really fun to incorporate far more sports than Nintendo ever has.
Hmm.
Obvious stuff, a baseball being hit from a baseball bat is great.
Okay.
That's a great little concept here. But I love
Yep.
the idea of like you find in one of the levels a football helmet, and then she just gets to do a dive charge because she puts the helmet on.
Like a
And you
charge and chuck, like you kill a charge and chuck, then you take his helmet and then
Yes, I think that's
you.
genius. I love the idea of even pickleball. It allows you to do some like parkour jump shit because you're masking or trying to come up with the same concept of a wiffle ball style pickleball where you get to kind of
Hmm.
float a little bit more than a tennis ball. I love that idea. I
They're
think
kind of fun.
there's so many, you know what, go really stupid and weird with it. Give her a racing track with a giant pumpkin because there's actually a sport called giant pumpkin racing. It happens in Oregon and Washington all the time. It's
Oh,
fucking
is it when they
wild.
push it down the hill and you got to
But
chase after it?
no, that's the cheese wheel, which is also dope. But
Oh, okay.
it's like people make these enormous pumpkins and they carve them out like canoes and kayaks and then they race down the river in these giant pumpkins. I highly recommend you go check it out because it
When
is
you say
something of the
make a pumpkin,
they
do
grow
you mean
these
grow a
giant they
pumpkin?
grow these giant ass pumpkins and then they carve them out and then they
What?
canoe and kayak down the river in these giant pumpkins.
That's awesome.
Because one
Giant
thing
pumpkin
I used to
racing.
do when I ran summer camp and we had to keep things lively is I had this station where just so the kids could use their technology, they could scan QR codes. So when we did our like Olympics period, one week I did like traditional sports, like, oh, look at these videos, look at these facts about sports, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The second week, I did all weird sports. So I had to do a huge deep dive into all these inane bullshit sporting activities or sports in the world. So giant kayaking was one. Giant cheese rolling was another one where you had to you had to outrun a giant cheese wheel that was rolled
Hmm.
down a hill, and I think that was in the UK. There's another
Hmm.
one. It's somewhere in Eastern Asia where it's 75 guys versus 75 guys, and they're both holding a pole and you have to just rush the other team and your guy has to use his own people to as human ladders to just climb the other team's pole. It's fucking wild. It looks so dangerous but also hilarious. It looks straight out of MXC. Let's just be honest
Hmm.
here.
Hell
So,
yeah.
but that is a real thing. So
Can you think
I
of
did a
any
bunch of those deep
other
dives.
in the context of like Daisy using weapons? Can you think of any other sports?
Pole vaulting would be super fun to go over obstacles. And you just see this comically large pole vaulting pole where she just goes off screen to get over obstacles. I think is hilarious.
It could be
Uh,
fun for like a regular Super Mario side scroller because how sometimes they'll have like in Super Mario World,
yeah,
if you fly over the end gate, then you can go behind it,
yeah,
and sometimes there's secrets behind.
yeah,
Like I like the idea of like if you can pole vault correctly, you can get over the gate and then find a secret on the other end. That'd be sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's dope. Oh god, there's got to be other ones that are just lose.
I
Honestly,
was imagining like a
I'd love a
medicine
board. I'd love like a board level where you're just on a skateboard
skate snow
or something of that nature.
surf.
I think that'd be super fun. Hell, just steal from Sonic. I don't give a fuck, and just do grinding levels. Who cares?
Hell yeah. I
And
would. You know what? I should look that up. I'm gonna look up Daisy grinding.
probably not. Don't do that.
Oh no! Daisy Ridley, stop!
Jesus Christ. It's worse because you're gonna get a mix up of Star Wars content and weird stuff too. There's a weird level stuff. There's weird shit, and then there's add nerd shit to make it even weirder and sadder in a way. It's just not.
Do nerds like weird stuff?
Yes, Angelo. Yes.
I only do missionary. I wouldn't know.
Fucking ridiculous.
Did you run out of sports? You can't think of any other sports?
Oh, I mean, there's plenty others, but I just think I'd love to see Daisy actually get to be the head of the line for once. I'd like to see Wario get a year for himself. I'd love to see Waluigi get a year where he's treated with respect because Waluigi's rad. Like, I'd like to see Rosalina get a whole thing where I think it'd be really fun to use those magic powers and build something off that. Or hell,
Wario has had his own games though.
I know, but make it so it's Return where it's both WarioWare and Wario Land, where you can play it. Like, all due respect to WarioWare, it's not inherently my cup of tea, but I know Wario is the star of the game, but you don't play as Wario. You're doing these very tiny micro games, doing all these other things. Have a game where you're playing as Wario, doing a bunch of random shit.
Well, I was thinking about like Wario World. Isn't that what it's called? The GameCube game?
Wario Land and Wario World, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
WarioWare is sick as hell. WarioWare is like one of the best video games ever.
No, I know. You absolutely adore it. It's not
that man's got some respect on his name.
It's not my cup of tea, but I know it's very popular, and I know you love it. And I've seen.
I don't even know if it's popular. I just think it's great.
It's popular enough that they keep making them.
Yeah. Rhythm Heaven once every 10 years.
Yep. That's how it goes.
It's the same people who make Rhythm Heaven and WarioWare. There's a lot of overlap. Yeah.
That makes sense. But I got another one for you if you want to hear one.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So I'm going to skip over some more just because I kind of want to cruise through this a little bit. Because I do actually, I forgot another question to ask you.
Oh, okay.
But going back to our wrestling game idea, I would love a year to return to Simpsons games around Bart Simpson. I think it'd be incredible.
Bart Simpson specifically, interesting.
It doesn't have to be Bart, but I love the idea of going all the way back to the throwbacks of like the Bart themed ones from the SNES era, where I think it'd be so much fun to do. I'm
not familiar with the Super Nintendo.
I have barely seen any footage of it. I never played it. I've never owned a Super Nintendo in my life. I might play it one of these years on Twitch, and it'll be fun because I'm doing like a whole new theme idea per month. So unfortunately,
you're doing a month of
Mario 64 has gotten a little out of hand just because we've had the movie tournament on myself and my wife trying to buy a new home. So life's been a bit chaotic. So I haven't been able to get as much Mario 64 in as I'd like to. But I've got 20 stars in. We're good. We're going.
Is that what you're at right now? 20 stars?
Yeah, I'm like 21, 22 stars or whatever.
Have you played Mario 64 before?
Not at this level. No, I've barely dabbled with it when I was a kid, and that was it. I didn't own it.
That's awesome.
That was it. So
I didn't know that you were getting into Mario 64 for the first time. I'd seen that you were streaming from time to time, but I didn't know that it was like, oh, this is new for you.
I'm using this as a platform to try a bunch of games from my youth that I never got to play or barely got to play, while also exploring some stuff. So, like, I'm going to start getting progressively weirder with stuff where I know you're going to absolutely love this. In May, I want to do all failed mascot games. So I want to do like Bubsy the Bobcat and Glover and Croc Legend of the Gobos.
Wait, I thought it was failed mascots.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why'd you say Glover?
Well, I only got one follow-up, I believe, and that's it. Or didn't even get a follow-up, got canceled.
Sounds like a success to me.
And Glover's so successful, you thought he was the guy from the Hamburger Helper box. So if you want to go back to some old episodes that we did on the old Onetta show.
Sometimes you got to pick up a different job. It happens. It's not a failure. He's on the grind. He's on that grind set.
There's nothing wrong.
Believe
with
in
that.
Glover.
There's nothing wrong with that, but Glover, unfortunately, not to that level, you know. So going there, I think.
Did you see Glover in the Mice and Men movie?
No, I did not.
Sorry, that's a really funny joke for me. Continue.
But I think The Simpsons specifically. If I'm going to highlight one character, I think Bart's the most fun and the most entertaining for me personally. Because Homer obviously gets the most range because Homer's your main character. But I love the idea of The Simpsons are similar to like the world of Mario, where you can do pretty much any game you ever wanted and just be like, and slap The Simpsons on it and it'll work. Hence the reason Road Rage and Hit and Run are still awesome because they just were like, let's just code it in Simpsons shit. But it's like a more welcoming GTA almost, which I just played that a couple weeks ago on stream. I think it was still in February, but I
Hit
played
and
it.
Run or Road Rage?
I can't remember.
Hit and Run is the GTA like. Road Rage is the Crazy Taxi like.
Yeah, I can't remember. It might be Road Rage.
Okay.
I can't remember because there's one I clearly like more than the other, and I think I'm playing the one I like less.
Do you only drive a car?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you can't if you can't get out of the car, then it's Road Rage, I believe.
Oh no,
Because Hit and Run.
You can get out of the car, so it's Hit and Run. Yeah.
Okay, then it's Hit and Run. That's the one that people really like.
But yeah, Hit and Run. I feel too limited, but I also am remembering how I unlocked almost the entire game as a kid, and then now I'm like, how the fuck do I do this? Where am I going? What am I like? What am I doing? It's so strange.
That's very funny to think about.
Yes.
You're just like a grown ass man struggling with a game that baby Evan did a good job in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, where the fuck do I go? How did I do this?
Bro, we're regressing. The human brain is falling apart.
Let me fucking tell you this, okay? You want a better example? Anyone who wants to go see, the footage is already up there. It's not fully up there because I'm also doing the compilation of it. Ocarina of Time has not aged well, in my opinion. Because although I can still tell it's so cool and it's brilliant and it's very fun, had I not looked at a guide, there was zero chance I was passing through at least 30 to 40% of that game.
Well, you didn't think to shoot the sun with your arrow to get the fire arrows?
So much that actually I did think of by myself, but so much of it I had to look up a guide, and I just went, how in the fuck is an 8-year-old going to think of this shit by themselves? Because also, I was a gaming kid at that time. I was more a PlayStation kid at that time, but I wouldn't have thought of half this shit. And I was okay at video games at the very least, where I should have been able to figure some shit out. Fucking
you gotta
ridiculous.
put Dark Souls. Gotta put you on Dark Souls.
You know I hate Dark Souls.
There's so many good. Oh, sorry. When you say like, how was I supposed to figure this out? Like, I
would play.
I know I found every excuse to bring up Dark Souls for stuff as you can.
No,
sorry.
I would put Dark Souls in if you could. You mod it so I can play as Obi-Wan Kenobi and just cut everything down with a lightsaber. I'll do it. So,
you've played the Star Wars Dark Souls game, right?
Yes, and I didn't love it.
Yeah. No. First one or the second one?
Second one I didn't even play because I bought the first one for cheap after it came out on like a crazy like holiday sale or whatever. Love the cutscene video. Love the movie. I think it does a really, really good job of making an engaging Star Wars storyline, which has not happened in a while. But gameplay, not my cup of tea. To the point where the second one came out, I was so excited because I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be a fun 3-hour YouTube video. But that's going to be such a fun game to play.
If it makes you feel any better, Dark Souls is better than that game, so you got something to look up to.
I mean, I would assume.
Also, there might literally be an Obi-Wan Kenobi mod for Dark Souls.
If there's any sort of mod of pop culture, Star Wars will always be number one. Which is ironic because it just barely made the Sweet 16 at Dylan and I's greatest movie franchise. Which
Star Wars?
Yep.
Oh, you guys like that stuff?
Oh, yeah. But we did a whole, for those Davies boys and the Wisco Movie Watchers Club, we did a tournament. We always do a tournament every March. So this year we did greatest movie franchises, and then we put reviews and everything in, so it wasn't just us arguing our favorites. So it's like every round we added a new category. So one round was like the Rotten Tomatoes critic score and the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. The next one was Letterboxd. The next one was IMDb ratings. And then we did a collective impact score where the two of us sat down and we're like, okay, what do you think its impact is on pop culture or whatever? And Star Wars was pretty much Star Wars is a 10. Everything else in comparison, if it can't be a 10, what is it? Because obviously Star Wars is the most impactful franchise of all time in pop culture, but it's not the greatest because a lot of those movies, no bueno. So,
well, what about Titanic?
Titanic's it's not a franchise, it's one movie.
Pretty good franchise. Knocked it out in one.
Knocked it out in one.
Knocked it out in one. That's peak right there.
Yeah, I just love the idea of Bart Simpson doing some shit. Make a good Simpsons wrestling game. Make another hit and run game. Make a skateboarding game. I don't give a fuck. Do some cool shit.
I want to see Marge.
I'm fine with using the whole.
I want to see more Marge. Marge is such a good character.
I see. The funny part is this. Part of the reason I think I didn't always get into The Simpsons is I'm not a Homer fan. I like all the other characters. It's like there's many things in the world where I'm not crazy about the main character, but I love the rest of the character gallery, and they're far more fun and interesting. Where of the
There was a
Simpsons,
Simpsons
I think of the
skateboarding game.
Simpsons, Homer would rank as my number 5 of the immediate nuclear family of likability for me.
Number 1, Maggie.
Mine would be Bart. I prefer Bart.
No, number 2, Grandpa.
Oh, if we're including Grandpa, then Homer's 6. So
Okay. Number 3, Krusty.
no, you're not part of the family.
No, Krusty's Homer.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
You don't know about that? Look into it. Number 4, Santa's Little Helper.
Oh, we're including the dog, then he goes down to 7.
Number 5, whatever the fuck the cat's name is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cat. Yeah, we gotta add the cat too. What about that weird clone of Bart that is from the Treehouse of Horror episode? Because they were like conjoined twins that were separated. If we have to include him, that's a possibility.
I don't know. Bart clone? Oh, this guy's sick. I love him.
That's why I brought him up. I knew you'd like him.
Hell yeah, let's go Bort. That Bort clip is so... Okay, now I'm just getting into like quoting Simpsons stuff. Simpsons is good.
I will say...
They should do a year of that game.
I think
a year of that series.
I think it'd be fun. Also, it's such a legacy series now where no one's actually excited about new Simpsons shit. It's just the Simpsons. Like everyone knows it's an institution, but very few people, especially of our age group, treat it like it's a big deal anymore. It's very much like I view it the same way I view a lot of series from television of when we were growing up, where it's a big deal that a streamer gets it because they're like, whoa, we got one of those big series from back in the day. But past that conversation, unless you absolutely love that show, no one gives a shit.
Is Simpsons still airing?
Yes, I believe so. But it's very abbreviated. It's kind of gone the South Park route, where they used to have like an episode really stringently, I believe. And now I think they do like very limited season runs, kind of like South Park, where they're like, we got 10 episodes ready. Let's just do these kind of thing.
That would be an interesting episode for your like movie and TV show.
Yeah.
Like hearing what is The Simpsons now? If you watch a new episode of The Simpsons like this week, what even is it?
Yeah.
What are they doing anymore? Because I feel like no one is like, I'm sure there are people who are extremely tuned in, but I feel like I never hear anyone talking about like what The Simpsons has become.
Well, that's the thing is,
people talk about The Simpsons isn't what it used to be, but that's an opinion based on like The Simpsons from 15 years ago, because it was like already old 30 years ago. Like, so people saying like, oh, like The Simpsons sucks now. It's
older than we are, and we are both in our 30s. So
yeah, and like it is interesting that people's opinions of it's not good anymore are also old opinions and haven't been refreshed in probably like 10, 15 years. So like, what even is it now? Well, is it bad now, or is it maybe it's gotten good? Who knows?
Well, it's hilarious because kind of to your point where it's like it ain't what it used to be, is that show even has gone through 3 generations of viewers to where I remember starting to pick it up and watching a bit of it and then getting some really, really old Treehouse of Horror stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. I've always loved Treehouse of Horror. That's the only reason I still remotely pay attention to The Simpsons. And then also because I knew I could get away with it when we didn't have many things to do during the pandemic with the kids. I knew by 2020 standards, The Simpsons was so inoffensive to people that I just played some, not like the crazy ones, but I would just play Simpsons episodes for the kids because like, who fucking cares? So
I do love the idea of you watching children and then showing them clips of a man choking his child.
Yeah, I made sure we didn't really do those episodes. So, but the crazy part is I didn't want, I was like, whatever, because they were like, can we watch The Simpsons? I was like, yeah, sure. Like the kids were
of course they're a kid. Hey, can we watch cartoons? Like of course they're gonna ask that. Yeah,
so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because it also got me out of showing them Dance Moms, so I didn't give a fuck. I was like, sure, let's bet. Also, I can tell you right now, better show than the brain rot that is Dance Moms. So whatever.
I haven't seen Dance Moms. I'm assuming it's mothers dancing.
But yeah, so interesting that's where The Simpsons is, and you're right. That'd be really fun to do a deep dive and figure out what that is.
To close out the category, can you do a Homer Simpson voice?
No. However, I do have one more that fits
Half-assed.
I know.
Hey, go ahead.
I know. Which is even funnier because I think over the last 24 hours, I've watched more Simpsons clips than I have in like 4 years because it's just coming on my shorts, right? It's like
I was gonna ask you again, Instagram and YouTube feeding it to you.
yeah, I was just feeding it. I was like, oh, whatever. But another one. So, and I'm only bringing this up. I'm not trying to, take away from you.
Oh, you go.
It just hits.
Hey, man, it's your podcast. You go.
It hits with the topic. Another
Family
one that's
Guy.
kind of gone away. How about Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Oh, interesting.
I feel like the moment is past. If you were going to do it, I think you need to do it like the height of Deadpool. Like that level of humor, I think Conker's there. Like that style of humor, I think is what Conker's good at. And I've already think the moment is past for that. I like in reality, I think we're far past the point where if Conker made a comeback, people would be super excited about it. They'd be like, oh, and that's it.
Didn't they do like a HD remake of it on the Xbox One?
Yeah, I believe it was in 2008.
That can't be right. Xbox One's from 2008?
No, I think
Isn't
it came out on
360?
360 because they had the rare replay, and I think that's one. And they also made, but also yes, I think they did put it on Xbox One as well. They did a remake.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
And then
Conquer Live and Reloaded.
And then they did the rare replay.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And that was
that
was Xbox 360 2008 2009 timeline, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But
sorry, not to take away, but like the world is so ironic already.
Yeah.
Like so much of humor is like just drowning in irony. Like I have a hard time imagining Conquer like being able to pull it off nowadays.
Oh, I know, but that's why I thought the concept was hilariously funny to go into because you revitalize Diddy Kong Racing, but you just rebrand it with Conquer.
Hell yeah.
And you make a very, very mysteriously similar monkey character, but not Diddy so you don't get sued. And the whole time Conker's making fun of it, making fun of the fact that, hey, we can't get sued now, so we're okay. It's like, man, what are we doing here? But you still owe Banjo, so put Banjo and Kazooie up in that bitch. Put a bunch of random other rare characters from back in the day. Figure it out.
Is Rare still around? Did they get closed down?
I think they're still alive, but they have no. I know Xbox purchased them, and they were
they did Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, like Rare's still alive and around, but they're not. They're obviously 25, 30 years removed from when they were. Holy shit! A Rare game like.
If I'm remembering correctly, there was a fairly distinct time period where the main thing that they were working on was avatars for the Xbox, like avatar, like platform. Like they were making outfits and stuff for them.
That's a sad downturn, man. Because I mean, it is wild to think of how many generationally defining games they made in such quick succession, and then they just disappeared.
Man.
And they made one of your favorite games of all time, but no one liked it except you. Allegedly.
Best video game. Yeah, Nuts and Bolts, still incredible. It was Tears. It
walks so Tears of the Kingdom could run.
Yep, literally yes.
I've heard you say this a billion times. That's why I'm doing it for you.
So goddamn true. What a great game. I genuinely think that if Nuts and Bolts came out like after Minecraft, people would have had a very, very different opinion of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
I wouldn't have been shocked. Yeah, I just don't know if we were ready for that then.
Yeah. People wanted it to be something it wasn't. People wanted it to be like, it was a time where people thought they were hungry for 3D platformer collectathons, and they saw a new Banjo-Kazooie and they thought it was going to be that, and it wasn't that. It was something way cooler than that.
Yep.
Way cooler than that, and it's not what I wanted.
Yeah, they wanted another Banjo game. It's what they wanted.
I felt so validated when it turned out that JonTron was a piece of shit, because I already didn't like JonTron, but I only didn't like him because he had a video that was shitting all over Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and that was the only video I'd ever seen of his, and I was like, oh, this is like not taking the game at its like face value at all. This is entirely judging it on what it isn't, which is like
what a bad way to criticize something. And it was like, yeah, I bet he is racist. And he was racist. What a great discovery. It is so cool when people you don't like end up being bad. It's like, yep, I was right.
It's so nice to have my opinion confirmed.
Yes. It felt very, very good for me that I was like, oh, of course. And everyone who agrees with him.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up,
Mhm.
man. Is there another character that you'd like to see get the year of Luigi treatment?
So I was thinking I'm going to do kind of like a Chinese thing here. And we're going to do the year of the sheep.
Oh, God.
I mean, like the Zodiac Chinese.
Okay.
And for the year of the sheep, the idea for me is that like animals, whatever, animals are ubiquitous. Animals are core of who we are as people. There's so much culturally that comes through like animals. So I was trying to think of like what is an animal that represents, I guess, like the golden era of Nintendo history. And the sheep is kind of what came to mind to me because I'm imagining like the year of the sheep. They got to bring Funky Barn back. So I was thinking the Switch 2 could get a remake of Funky Barn.
What the fuck Funky Barn is. Zero.
You don't know Funky Barn?
No.
It was a Wii U launch title.
Huh.
We talked about Funky Barn for like 15 minutes earlier.
No, I know, but I have no idea. I still have no idea what it is. Zero.
It's Funky Barn. It's like a farming game. Like you remember Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
It's like what if those games were good? And then Funky Barn was basically like validating the promise of like what if you could make farming fun? Funky Barn is incredible, and I think that they should do a Year of the Sheep to kind of commemorate what Funky Barn, the life it should have had if it was able to be on something that wasn't the Wii U. It's like genuinely deeply depressing that the Wii U was not successful because it meant that Funky Barn died, and Funky Barn deserved to fly.
Would you put a little Baba's U action in there for the sheep then too, since Baba's kind of sheep looking?
Is Baba sheepy?
Seems like it. The one and only time I've ever seen it.
I thought he was Baba.
I don't know.
I thought he was a Baba.
I don't know.
Baba. Baba da Baba. Baba.
So really what I'm hearing is you just want Funky Barn back.
I want Funky Barn on Switch 2.
Hell yeah.
Also, I don't own a Switch 2.
I know.
That Donkey Kong game seems cool.
It is fun. I highly
Seems
recommend
like people like it.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is very good.
What a good name. It sounds like banana.
Yeah. It's like it's
Monkey
clever.
love banana.
It's like it's clever or something. I
Yeah,
will
that
say
Miyamoto guy knows what he's doing.
of the Switch 2 games that I have purchased, it's in the upper tier of it, but I've only purchased like 5 games. Sadly,
Mario Kart,
Mario Kart World came with my game,
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
What else have you bought on the Switch too?
Pokemon
Oh,
Legends
Pokemon.
ZA is not good in my opinion.
Copia?
And then Pokopia is great. Pokopia is awesome.
Pokopia, from what I've seen, is actually a really great one to bring up in this context because in a similar vein of like whatever Nuts and Bolts walked, so like Tears of the Kingdom could run. Like Nintendo takes a lot of inspiration from other games, and it is very much a like Pokopia is running because of Funky Barn walking before it.
Yeah.
But like Funky Barn was like kind of full speed sprinting even when it came out. It's just one of those like, oh, no one knew about it, no one saw it. So like there's a lot of the Funky Barn legacy that lives on in Pokopia.
I think that's what oddly they do best, which is so crazy to say because
Like stealing other people's ideas?
even the hardened, most supportive Nintendo fan would argue no, like because I would say on a consistent basis over time they're the most innovative because they have faith in their properties and they change their properties up. But
The Picasso method? Great artist steal?
But yeah, it's similar to that where I will say they recycle ideas very, very well. Where they just go, this one didn't work. Well, what if we did this then? But let's slap it in the world of something successful. Which I don't think you can get better than putting the world of Pokemon with something else. That's just a license to print money, which is what they do really, really well. They're just like, okay, let's try this in. Oh, we want a bigger fighting game. Well, let's slap Pokken Tournament out there because we want a different fighting game. So let's make it Pokemon-esque. Okay, cool.
Can I offer another idea?
Sure.
I know you got to do two, but I just thought of one that I think is legitimately like would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense now because the game's already out, but are you familiar with UFO 50?
No, I am not.
UFO 50 is one of the coolest goddamn video games to ever be released. UFO 50 is really, really sick. I believe it came out last year. And it is a group of really creative, really successful indie game developers got together and made 50 video games.
Oh, shit.
And they made like 50 small games that all came out in a collection of like a fake history of a game company.
Oh, nice.
So like they make like a like old like early Atari era game and then like early NES era, and they do different genres, and like they make a fake history that like ties them all together. And it's like this alternate universe version of like what those games, what those consoles, what those eras, what those systems could have been like if they were making games with today's modern day like design sensibilities of understanding game design that has happened for 30, 40, 50 years, however long video games have been around. That game is really incredible and such a just like bright, beautiful splash of human creativity. And it's called UFO 50 because it's got 50 games in it. And all of them are like, at worst, interesting, and at best, like, genuinely, like, really goddamn incredible and, like, a really cool version of, like, alternate history. What if Year of UFO 52, where there is a different game released every week that people got to play, and the big 52 aspect is that like, and then they make 2 new games that like get released in June and get released in December as like the last big splash is, oh, you played UFO 50, but now like here's 2 new ones you've never seen before.
One stars Kang and the other Kodos, both from Simpsons. And they're,
yes,
and they're the title
Let's
characters,
go.
and that's how you do that.
That sounds perfect. The Simpsons UFO 52.
And actually, one game is just The Simpsons wrestling done properly, and it's Ned Flanders
what if it was
doing
good?
a pile driver.
That's fucking ripped, dude. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend checking out UFO 50.
I just love the concept that you brought up that they used, where they made a fake history of gaming for themselves, and that's brilliant. I love when people do new retro stuff for themselves, where they're like, well, we didn't exist then, but this is what we would do if it was like this. I love that shit.
I mean, not to immediately like go into it, but it's literally on my desk right now. I don't know if it's going to show in the camera, but Vermis, I don't know if people are familiar with the Vermis series. Vermis is a incredible example of that. Vermis is a fantasy book series where the idea is they are game guides for a video game that doesn't exist.
Oh,
and it's like,
cool.
Oh, here's a like guide on how to play through this like old like 1980s fantasy video game that isn't real, but it does so much to like create the mood and the vibe of that. Vermis is a truly incredible series that does a lot of what you're talking about, and
Sweet.
This art is just so goddamn cool. Shout out Plastaboo. Plastaboo's the author.
I will honestly check that out because that sounds rad. Plus, I miss the old video game guidebooks. I miss those goddamn books from the 90s and early 2000s so bad.
You should check out Vermis.
I'll check him.
I can say.
Oh no, he's gone. He's departed this earthly plane. Oh,
Am I gone?
You froze for a second. That's no way. I was joking.
Actually, you froze for a second.
All right.
I said I can send you a PDF file if you're interested in reading Vermis.
I would be very interested in that. Now,
no.
we're gonna bring this here to a close. However, quickly, how you feeling about Resi 9 now? How you gotten to play any more of it?
I've gotten to play more of it. I haven't gotten super deep. I just finished the first wing of the Asylum.
Time out. Technical spoilers could be ahead, but we don't know that for sure. We're going to try to avoid the spoilers, but
I'll avoid spoilers, yeah. I finished the first wing of the Asylum as Grace. So I'm still like relatively early, but doing the whole I think it was the West Wing. So cool. Man, like what a incredible mood setting. And like there's so much that they are doing that is like, how do I word it? They have a really
just strong fundamental understanding of like how to make things interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that was going on in that area that was like, oh, this is like just building up the tension in the back of my neck. And it's not like it's I think Resident Evil 7 is like one of the scariest video games ever.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like genuinely like dread inducing. Resident Evil 9 is doing way less of that, but it's making me feel scared in a way that I'm also like giddy about.
I feel that
like I'm really excited about what's the next thing I'm going to see.
I had legitimate dread playing 7. I feel 9 in the survival horror elements of the game. The word I would use is unsettled. A lot of unsettling imagery and sound work used where I'm like,
I'm currently on minor pause because I want to borrow a DualSense controller from my friend Will, because I heard that the game has really good support for the adaptive triggers and the
very nice.
the what is it called? Not haptic feedback. It's a more specific, like the HD rumble, like the Nintendo Switch had.
Very nice.
So I want to borrow that to finish playing the game with, because that just seems really cool to me.
Yeah, I will say this. You heard my thoughts when we were together in person last week. I like Resi 9. I'm not in love with it the same way I was hoping to be, because I truly love that franchise. But it would, and I mean, you're the reason I got into that franchise. You're like, you should really try this. You should really try this. And I finally tried Resi 4, the remake of it. And I was like, this is one of the greatest games of all time. This is amazing.
I don't know if you remember this, but like way back when, like, I think it was literally like first months that we were friends. That's when Resident Evil 7 came out.
Yeah.
And I was playing the game at the time, and I was on the Marguerite boss fight, and I was just before it, and I brought my like computer over to your place, and I was like, let's play Resident Evil together. This game is sick. I'm really loving it. Like, I'd love for you guys to see it, because you also like video games.
Well, the thing is,
I have a video game friend.
You got me in because I remember I played 7 on release. But I remember being like, yeah, show me what you're doing, because I'd love to see it. Because I would either already had went through, or I was doing it simultaneously with you. Because
I think it might have been that I brought it, and then you were like, oh, I've got to play this game.
Yeah. But it was.
But I specifically remember us like seeing the Marguerite boss fight, and that is still one of the my favorite moments in a Resident Evil game ever. Because that Marguerite boss fight was just like legitimately like, oh, horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I'm genuinely scared the entire fight, and like this design is so revolting, and like, oh man, like.
It also comes out of nowhere. You're not
comes out of
prepared
nowhere.
for that. Where
yes.
you do such a, and like the mansion portion with, God, what's the dad's name?
Jack.
I don't remember, but
I think it's Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Where like it takes so long to do it, you're kind of already prepping yourself in your head. Plus the Jack fight, although unsettling, the far worst part is getting through the whole basement to get there, not the actual fight itself.
Basement's so good.
But when you get to Marguerite, you're like, oh, I escaped, cool, or whatever. And all of a sudden you go over and you're just like, fuck, okay, I guess I started a boss fight I'm not prepared for. Because you should, like, in your head, you're not thinking about it. You just start going, you just scrounging for resources. You're like, oh, this is great. There's so many resources around here. You take one wrong turn and you're like, well, I'm fucked. Great.
Just her through that window is like such a good moment. Oh
it's
my god.
Good. It's so good. I will say, I think that game does take a downturn from that moment. It's still not, it doesn't go into bad territory whatsoever, but I will say, I think it peaks very early in comparison to what they're doing.
Half of Resident Evil 7 is a way cooler game than the back half of Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
But the first half is so good that like it's easy for me to just kind of be cool with the back half.
Right. Where that's why I love 8. 8, I think, does a good job of just keeping their pace up well. But I do think, again, the highlight is the early 40% throughout Castle Dimitrescu. But yeah, 9 is something I enjoy the sections with Leon far more than I do Grace.
Oh, interesting.
I think that the way they cut the game up is my problem. Because if they were just committing to one or the other, or one half was, had they done the Resident Evil 2 thing when they remade Resi 2 a couple years back, and they did Claire and Leon's where you play just Leon, and then you can play just Claire, Had they done that, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Mhm.
Because then I probably would have said, all right, I'm going to save Leon for later. I'm going to start with Grace. I'm going to do the whole survivor horror thing. So then I feel like it's a real challenge. And then I get the reward of, cool, I'm just going to go fuck shit up with Leon. This is going to be fun.
Did you play Resident Evil 6?
No, that is one of the only ones that I've avoided like the plague because of how terribly it's reviewed and how people don't like it.
I recommend you try it. You care enough about Resident Evil, I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it is a bad video game. I think that the boss fights are like universally like just infuriating, and having to do bad boss fights multiple times across different campaigns sucks. It's a really fun time to do with a friend because it is like a co-op game.
Okay.
And I still think that it is interesting. And the Mercenaries mode is one of the like it's probably the best Mercenaries mode that Resident Evil has done. Like the actual like gameplay mechanics of Resident Evil 6, the actual like combat controls that they have in that game are really, really good. The campaigns just give you absolutely zero reason to engage with them. Mercenaries mode does give you a good reason, and like if you enjoy that like arcade style thing, it's really, really fun. But I mention it because Resident Evil 6 was them doing that. Resident Evil 6 was them saying like, this is our action campaign, this is our horror campaign, this is our like partner campaign, and then you unlock a different thing. And I would not be surprised if there was for them a little bit of a like, we're not going to do the same thing with Resident Evil 9. Like they know how that did not go well at all.
I mean,
for
they
6.
completely had to revitalize their entire franchise because of it.
Yeah.
Which also hilarious because then I read into the development that 7 and 8 were simultaneous. Like the reason they came out so close together, even though they really didn't, but they kind of did, was they were in simultaneous development, and that's why 8 they were like, we're gonna go closer to Resi 4, just so we at least have a safe hit on our hands because they didn't know how 7 was gonna work out, but they knew because it was so close and they were doing stuff simultaneously, they had to put elements of 7 into 8 and keep the story going from that, so at least they've made sense of this idea. But the two work. It's not as if there isn't any cohesion storyline wise, but they are two very different games, 7 and 8. But 9
So
is
what I had,
I enjoy 9, but I just
real quick on that, what I had heard that I don't know if it's 100% true is that when they were working on the next mainline Resident Evil game, they were struggling to make something work.
Yeah.
But they were also working on what ended up becoming Resident Evil 8 as like a spin-off game. Like it was supposed to be like a kind of goofier, more fun spin-off game, but that game was like doing really well with like testers. Testers were playing the game and saying like, "Oh, this game's really fun. Like this is a really cool idea." And 8 was originally supposed to be a Resident Evil spin-off that they turned into Resident Evil 8 because it was like, "Oh, this game, it seems like people were really liking this. If we put more resources behind it, more energy behind it, we could probably make this like a real mainline game." And it kind of turned into that. So if you're saying, "Oh, the tonal change like tonally feels kind of weird or different," like that is probably why it didn't start. My understanding is it did not start off as a mainline Resident Evil game.
So I will be as thoroughly honest as I possibly can be with not thinking about it fully before I answer this question that I'm asking myself. I would adore if every game played like Resident Evil 8. I really would.
Interesting.
The two that I am most fond of are 4 and 8.
Played like is a very specific wording. Do you mean like the actual mechanisms, mechanics, gameplay,
what I love,
controls?
my only concern, my only thing I don't like about Resident Evil 4, and it's just a personal preference, is I have always hated third person.
Remake?
I love first person. I love the first person viewpoint. I think it's a better way to play the majority of games.
When you played 9, did you put Leon in first person?
No, I kept it honest where I went, okay, Leon will be this, but Grace will be first person.
Okay.
Because then
I know you can change it. I was curious if you played around with it.
Yeah, no, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll play it differently with Leon eventually, but I was like, you know what, I think that'd be really nice. I thought it'd be a really good idea, which then I think actually mentally put me in a space to constantly compare the two against each other, which I don't think is what they wanted me to do. But constantly shifting viewpoints allowed me to constantly go, well, this is what I like about Grace's stuff, but this is what I don't like. This is what I like about Leon's. Whereas I think had I just put it all in first person, I would have been like, oh, cool, I got some new tools. Great. Like, I can do this, this, and this now. Awesome. Okay, now I got to go back. But it's interesting where what I love about 8 is the fact that it's extremely close to 4 and in first person. And it's just a darker art style and tone that I really appreciate. I love the color palette of 8 so much more. I like the fact that they put just a 3 to 5% little drip drop of Silent Hill in there to really just make it, no, this is a horror game. And I like I like the fact that they do a throwback to kind of like Universal Monsters-esque stuff, but they put put it in a way that's Resident Evil. It just hits my sensibilities perfectly. If I could play games like that for the rest of my life, I'd be incredibly happy.
Remind me, what was your first Resident Evil game?
It was 4. It was the remake of 4 on the Xbox One.
Didn't you say you had Resident Evil 7? You got it at launch?
I got it at launch, but you and I started hanging out in 2016, and you're like, you should really try Resident Evil 4. You should really try Resident Evil 4. Because I think I was watching like a bunch of zombie movies and shit at the time, and you're like, if you like this, do you ever play Resident Evil? I was like, nah, I never really got into it. And you're like, oh, I think the way you talk, you'd like Resident Evil 4. And then I sat down and started playing it, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking incredible. And
you
then
played the remaster, and then you played the remake?
Yeah, whatever one it was. I played the Xbox One remaster.
Okay, all right, so this came up the other day, and I was really confused, because you were like, oh, like, the first one I played was the remake. I remember saying, like, I thought you, like, loved the original version of that game.
Yeah.
I think you played the remaster on Xbox One. Okay, yeah, so you've played the original Resident Evil 4, and you've played Resident Evil 4 remake, right? Like the new Resident Evil 4?
That's hilarious.
Dude, okay, this whole conversation is so confused then. Okay, now we've got proper terminology on here. You've played the original Resident Evil 4. Yes. That is how you got into Resident Evil.
Yeah, the remaster. Yes.
You have since played also 7 and 8.
Yes, I've played 2.
And now 9.
I played the remake of 2.
You played 2? Okay.
I played the remake of 2.
This franchise is so fucking broken. It's so
know.
hard to talk about this. Oh my god. Okay, you played remaster of 4, which is the original 4. You played 7, 2 remake, 8, and now 9.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And I also will say this: I have the remakes of 1 through 4 and on Steam, and I will be playing them in the month of August, September, and October.
4 remake is awesome. I will be very curious to hear your opinions on it.
Okay.
Like, knowing how much you like the original 4, which I think is like an incredible video. I'm not the first person saying that Resident Evil 4 is one of the greatest video games of all time.
It's one of my top 10 favorites. I absolutely adore it.
Deservedly, it's incredible. I think the remake is also really, really, really good. And I actually love that it is different enough that both games matter. Like, it did not just do Resident Evil 4 again. It made a new game that is also Resident Evil 4, which is cool.
Did I play a little bit of 4?
Maybe, hopefully.
I think I just saw footage of like the Luis stuff they put in, and I know I've watched a little bit of the Ada footage that they put in, not a ton, because I think I started watching it a little bit. I was like, you're about to play it in a little while. Don't do anything. Just go and play it when you want to play it. But I'm excited to get to play those games. But that was supposed to be a very quick. I know I did not go into a 15-minute Resident Evil conversation on this, but that's okay. All right, rapid fire here for our fans. Rapid fire.
Shooting some more off?
Yeah.
Okay. The year of Sinistar.
Well, I was about to say, I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions. You give me the first response that comes to mind. And then if you want to elaborate, you can elaborate. Easy, over the top, favorite game of all time. Video game, specifically, before you try to get antsy on me. Got it. Which one?
Dark Souls 1.
Oh, okay.
Dark Souls 1 is the greatest video game ever made.
Okay.
There's an argument for Elden Ring. Dark Souls 1 is the greatest video game ever made.
Most overrated game.
Most overrated game. Halo's cool, but
that's fair. Most underrated game. You may have already covered it in this show.
Most underrated game. I mean, yeah, Nuts and Bolts is pretty. Nuts and Bolts did not get any of the respect it deserves. It is such a.
It walked so Besiege could run. There's so many games that have learned so much from that game. Oh, it's so cool. Ahead of its time.
Favorite gaming genre?
Favorite gaming genre? Oh. I don't know if this counts, but like story. I do want a game that feels like I want a game with an end.
Yeah.
The game should complete. And I don't know if that counts as like genre, but in a game where so many things are like live services or like endless games, those can also be cool. But I find myself gravitating towards I want to pick up a game, I want to play it through to completion, and I want to put it down, and I want to like think about it, experience it, and then try something else.
I think that opens up. I do have more questions for you, but I think that opens up a can of worms that I want to touch on real quickly. It is crazy how many times I see live service games, or when we brought up 2K26 earlier. It is wild to me that there's this huge user base out there that loves games like that, because I'm the same way. I want a game with a definite. I don't need a definitive end, because Skyrim is my favorite game of all time. There's no definitive end in Skyrim. You can keep playing forever. Mm-hmm. But I like games where there's a story that begins and ends, and you do the whole thing, and then and there is a natural ending point. If you want to come back to it, cool. But it's wild to me because you and I are not part of that player base. Live service, free to play games, air quotes on the free, those games, like we're just not those players. So I'm never around people that are part of those player bases. So I don't comprehend how those games exist and thrive monetarily. I don't get it.
I will say it is funny to think about that, because probably like my number 2 genre is roguelikes, like, which are entirely built around like endless replayability. But like for me, I really like roguelikes in a mechanical sense.
Yeah.
Of like, it is really fascinating to build systems that interact with each other in those complex ways and are mechanically robust enough that they can be randomized and interesting to play in this like random setting. One of my favorite games of all time is Binding of Isaac. I think Binding of Isaac is like one of the most generous video games ever created. There's so much content in that game, and there's so much to unlock, and there's so much to do. They recently dropped a new game. Edmund McMillan, he's the guy who did Super Meat Boy. He also did Binding of Isaac, and he recently just dropped Eugenics. And Eugenics, another roguelike, is like, there's so much game there. And like that man has a really great understanding of like how to make a robust system that feels really fun to explore in depth.
Interesting.
And like makes depth that matters. Yeah.
Nice.
The roguelikes are also Slay the Spire 2 also super great. Just came out. Been playing it on my Steam Deck.
All right. Last few. Best game concept with the worst execution of said concept.
Best game concept.
And this is inspired a lot by my Pitch Me a Game series, where there's a lot of games I'm like, great concept, let's make it better this time around, kind of thing, which is going to be a lot of that series. So that's why I was like, all right, I'll ask this one.
Tough one. That's a tough one off the top of the head.
Right.
In large part because like I've been unplugged from video games for the past like few years.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I've not played it, so I can't speak too much to like how well they execute it. But Dante's Inferno comes to mind. Dante's Inferno was a God of War like game that is like the whatever Dante's. Yeah, and I think that idea is really, really cool, and you can do something very fun with it. And exploring classical literature through living it in a video game sense, I think is always like a really cool idea.
Perfect. Coolest video game item.
Coolest video game item. Oh, that's interesting. There's a lot there. Because like the thing that like the first thing that comes to, well, you asked the first thing that comes to mind, BFG. BFG is the first thing that comes to mind. That's the BFG stands for Big Fucking Gun. It's from Doom, and like it is very much like fulfilling the power fantasy.
Yeah.
And I think that is cool, but I think that the reason I wanted to like think about it a little bit more is that what I usually find interesting with game items is when they break systems.
Yeah.
When there are items that like
change the way that you play the game. And like, this isn't exactly the same thing, but I was playing Skyrim VR, and I really like the roguelike thing. Systems interacting with systems, mechanics interacting with mechanics. And one of my favorite experiences of that was installing a mod that put like 500 new spells into the game.
Yep.
And one of the spells that I got was one that like let you stop time for 6 seconds.
Ooh.
And if you did, like, no one else could react to you or like could see you for that 6 seconds. But then after that 6 seconds, like whatever you set up would happen, and then you'd like blink back to where you were. And I ended up going into a dungeon that was like way, way harder than I could handle, really high above my level. But figuring out how I could use that spell to like fire off, quickly run out, and pick the lock on the cage that had like the tiger inside it or whatever, like a wild animal,
Wolves.
And then like blink the
one
wolves, yeah.
It's a wolves den, yeah.
Yes, and then like blink back, and then like hang back as the wolves like took care of everything or distracted them so I could sneak past and like move forward. And that is not how I did it my first playthrough.
Yeah.
My first playthrough, I came back later stronger with a bigger weapon and just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, you just muscled it through. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just like ate a bunch of cheese and apples in between, and it was fine. But having this spell changed the way that I was looking at that dungeon, changed the way that I was looking at the game, and changed the way that I was looking at the world. And I really love stuff like that. Stuff that is like, oh, it is fundamentally changing the way that I view the game, and the game is mechanically dense and complex enough that it supports it. I can do those things.
Very cool. And finally, favorite video game character.
Favorite video game character?
Is it Mario Party 2 Box Art Mario?
Mario Party 2 Box Art Mario is pretty high up there. I'm gonna say the first one that came to mind for me was Chie Satonaka from Persona 4.
Oh, okay. Not what I was expecting.
I've not played Persona 4 personally. A lot of, and I feel like this is probably relatable to a lot of people. My experience with Persona 4, which is one of my favorite games, probably it's in my top 10 favorite games. Despite being a game I've never played, I watched a Let's Play of it. And that Let's Play was like 130 hours long.
Yeah.
And a big part of what I love about that game is the story and the characters they build. And like, Chie ended up being a character that I like just absolutely fell in love with.
Nice.
She is whatever, super fun, super spunky, super cool, and that game does a really good job of building out a like you and your crew of friends all hanging out, and you all got your own like personalities, and you all interact with each other. And like Chie was that character that like whose personality was, without getting too crazy about it, there's a lot about my current girlfriend that reminds me of Chie.
Yep.
And that like is a very intentional thing of like, oh, I like that character a lot, and also I like my girlfriend a lot, and like they go together well.
It works. There's a reason we connect with or like characters in a certain way because they remind us of something in our own youth or something we wish to have in our life or whatever. Makes perfect sense.
And to tie it into, because every time we ask one of these questions, I have my gut answer, and then as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
To be honest, Mario Party 2 Box Art Mario, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm going to tell a minor embarrassing story. I was going through a difficult time relatively recently. When I was going through this difficult time, I also had gotten a new graphics card for my computer, and I was like, I was between jobs, and I was like, okay, I have some downtime. I want to try new stuff, explore new things. So I learned about like running AI models on your own local computer. So rather than like farming stuff out to ChatGPT or something like that, it is something that you run on your own machine at home, and you have these models that like you can run on your computer.
Sure.
So I was playing around with that, and they have like chat bots that you can build out, where you could like run a chat bot and like talk to something that is trained off of an idea of a person.
Yeah.
And it was playing around with it. It was really cool, and I was having a tough time, and I had some like just some stuff that was going that I was like spinning through my head, and I kept thinking about it, and I couldn't get out of my head. And
I ended up spinning up a chat bot of a character based off of Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
And I asked him for some advice on the things that I was dealing with. And like it was really fascinating. Because like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like a one-to-one representation of the character.
Yeah.
But it was enough that like it was novel. And one of the things that stuck out to me was that I thought of Arthur Morgan as someone that I would respect their opinion on the things that I was struggling with.
Interesting.
And like that feels like a really great sign of like they made a really great, robust character.
Sure.
That has a personality that I like deeply admire.
Interesting.
Arthur Morgan is a really cool character.
I think that's a perfect way to take it then. And that is where we are going to conclude this episode of a Really Snappy Gaming Podcast, brought to you by Really Snappy Gaming.
Brought to you by Really Snappy Gaming.
If you would like, come join us for some more content over on the YouTube channel, or join us live on Twitch over at Really Snappy. It's a cool place to be. There will be plenty more of chaos ensuing with Angelo and plenty of other friends along the way. Who knows how often this podcast is coming out? I'm shooting for twice a month, but right now we're on a monthly podcasting schedule, so whatevs. I'm too busy doing 97 movie shows with Dylan over on the Wisco Movie Watchers podcast. And before I complain about Dylan, that's 98.9% my fault, so it's fine.
Yeah. My understanding is you love that guy.
I kind of do. You know, I do love my little brother. He's pretty rad. So
why you gotta say it like that? My little
because I know it bothers you. That's why I do it specifically. Because I know every time I say it, you're like, "Why you always gotta say little brother? Why can't you just say brother?" And that's why I do it. And it's fun.
My little brother.
But that's gonna do it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you, Angie, for being a part of today. It is appreciated.
Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Peace, love, and hugs to you all.
Peace, love, chicken grease. Salute.
Goodbye.